I got my first print-on-demand sale on Etsy 9 months ago now. It was an organic sale, it was the first sale on my shop, and I got it within 30 days of listing my very first product. In this video, I'm going to be sharing 5 things that I personally believe helped me get that very first sale. And these aren't any hacks or anything, this is just what worked for me in my brand new shop. Now, the first thing I think helped, and I know you hear it all the time, was choosing a high demand, high search, but low competition niche. Now, the broad niche itself, which as you guys already know based off of past videos that I did, was in the baby shower niche. I was selling baby shower signs. Now, overall, baby shower signs, there's a lot of products, but I chose a sub niche, like a keyword that I found that was less competition, there was way less listings, and I was able to kind of wither my way in and get into that spot and start selling there. Most people that were selling a digital product, which the customer would buy the product and they would get it printed at a shop, or if they're able to do it at home, get it printed at home and then make the poster that way. But the way that I was doing it is I was selling the actual physical product, which even that itself, there was also less competition for. So I was selling this physical product and I have the option where they could get it on a poster, they could get it on a foam board, or they can get it on a canvas. So with that, it came, different price ranges, and people were able to choose, what size and what material they wanted the poster printed on. But they knew that they would get that poster not only printed, but printed and shipped to them, so they have the full thing. And with this, I was just kind of thinking of myself, if I were to be getting a baby shower poster, I feel like I wouldn't even want to go through all the work of having to get it printed and find a print shop and all of that. I would just want to buy it and have it come to my house just as I see it in the picture. And that's kind of what I was thinking when I was deciding for myself, and also I can do that print on demand. But I was thinking I would want to just get the full physical product myself, so it did really help to sell it that way too, because there was less competition for that. Now, the second thing I did that I believed helped me get my first sale on Etsy was doing my design based off of research. Now, I was completely new to Etsy. I'd done print on demand before, I'd done selling, with having products in-house before, but I was all selling through Shopify, and Etsy was very new to me. And I know that Etsy's buyers kind of like a certain look a lot of the time, but either way, I really wanted to do what works. So I would go on Etsy, I would look at digital products, physical products within the niche and outside of the niche, and I would just go and see what people were actually wanting on their baby shower signs. So some things that were on all of the options were things like their name and the date, and sometimes the location of like the city where they're having the baby shower. But some things that kind of fluctuated was the actual graphic or image or the theme of the design. Now, I was designing for the boy baby shower niche, which is the high search, low competition niche that I was focusing on. But a lot of things that I found in the girl baby shower niche was a lot of flowers incorporated, and I wanted to make some designs that incorporated flowers. So in doing so, I was able to get my first listing sold because it was a listing that had a flower design, but it was still themed for a boy, so it had lots of blues and different shades of blues. And I feel like that's why I was able to sell it, because I was taking those design elements that I had researched and incorporating them into my design. Another thing I did was I used templates. I would go on Canva and find some templates and really just scroll through and look for any type of inspiration that I can pull and incorporate together that I could put together for my design. The third thing I did that I feel like helped or maximized my chances of getting my first sale and the subsequent sales to follow was making a lot of designs for the exact same keyword. Now, I was new to Etsy, but I knew that this was a high search, low competition, and I could see the opportunity in this. Now, I don't want to just create one design, especially since I don't know this Etsy space as well as I do, working on my own shop. So what I wanted to make sure to do was make a lot of designs for this. So I made so many designs for this. I don't remember how many, I'd have to go back and check. I did make a lot of designs in the same title and tags on Etsy, and I just made a lot of designs because I didn't know what would work. I didn't know what people would like. And once I started to see that this title and tags were actually getting views, I knew that this was something that people were actually looking for, because they're already searching for it, but they're actually liking my design or that specific design I put out. So I made sure to make multiple designs, knowing that this was something that, yes, it's searched for, but I also need to have a design that they want. Now, the fourth thing I did that I really truly believed helped me get a sale on Etsy was my mock-up. Now, I made sure to choose a mock-up that I really felt like was telling a story. People that are buying for baby showers, or I've noticed since selling baby shower signs, a lot of people are actually buying it for their daughters-in-laws or for their daughters or for their son-in-laws, whoever it is, they're actually buying it as a gift for their baby shower. But one thing I wanted the customers to be able to do was to almost see this sign in their own event. So I wanted to make sure that the background of the sign wasn't just a plain white wall or in a living room, because that wouldn't really fit the theme, but I really wanted to make it look like this sign was placed in a baby shower scene, so it actually could kind of tell a story and have the person really relate to and kind of see that sign in their own event or in their own space. I feel like this really helped because I feel like they had to imagine less of what they would have to do with the design, where they'd have to put it, and instead it's like they could already see oh my goodness, I can see that being at my my baby shower party or whatever it is. So I really just tried to sell the story and the event and what they would be living and why they would want this product. The fifth point that I have to share with you guys that I actually think is really important, especially as a new shop, is to find a way to build trust with customers. When you're going into Etsy, you have no reviews. I had no reviews and no sales. I didn't have any sales that weren't organic in my shop. My very first sale was an organic sale, and all of my sales have been organic sales. But starting as a new shop, you have no sales, you have no reviews, and a customer might be hesitant to trust you because you have nothing to show for yourself of that another person has bought and it went through smoothly. So one thing I did was try to make the customer feel as comfortable as possible. I believe that everyone, when they're starting, they should have a return policy. I just was like, okay, I know I'm putting everything into this. So I did start with a 14-day return policy that if anything was wrong with their order, that they could reach out to me and I could get that refunded for them or rebate for them. I also made sure to include this quality or satisfaction guarantee as one of my listing image photos. This way, the customers, if they they don't read through the bottom, but they're swiping through the pictures, they can see that, again, if anything's wrong with their product, they can just send a picture and they can get a refund or a replacement. I think I just worded it that will make it right for them. What this is doing is it's removing the risk from the buyer and making the buyer feel a little bit safer in buying from you as a new owner. Safer and feel more comfortable purchasing from you even though you're a new shop. And on the seller's end, if something went wrong and I couldn't get it sorted, I'm okay losing that amount of money, knowing that something went wrong. But for most of the time with print on demand, especially depending on the print provider that you have, you're actually able to get these issues sorted through them with no extra cost. So if there's something printed wrong on the order, you're able to get that refunded or you're able to get that rebate for the customer with no extra cost to you. The only thing I would have to worry about is like the dates, and of course it would get to the customer a little bit later on. But overall, it's so much better for that customer to have a good experience because that way they're a lot more likely to leave a good review when the time comes. And one more bonus thing that I think that really helped me getting my first sale was personalization. I think the fact that my listing was personalized so the person could have their sign and their baby shower date and their location if they wanted to on their sign really helped make it a better gift for someone, or even if they're getting for themselves, a little more personalized. Especially for like a special occasion, like you really want that to be memorable and like cherished, because it's really nice to have something with your own name on it or something that can really resemble to you specifically instead of something more generic. Now, of course, this can be harder to upkeep if you're getting a lot of sales, but at the beginning, since you're not getting many sales at once, it's really nice to have, and it's a lot easier to upkeep since you're not getting as many sales, to have that special touch to it so people can know they can get it customized if they wanted to. I've had people even change the saying to a different language, and again, it just really helps that product really almost speak to that person a little bit more and just means more to that customer. I know for a fact my first sale didn't just come from one of these things, but it really was a combination of all of these things together, really trying to do everything I can to maximize my outcome and maximize my conversion rate. If you are still working on your first sale, you are not behind. Trust me, you are building, and that is the best place to be in. I'm still building. People that have made thousands of sales are still building. So let me know any other video types you guys want to see, any other ideas you have, any questions you have down below, and I will make sure to make a video on it. Otherwise, bye people.